Hello, my name is Carlos Hernandez, and in my role at NIMS & Associates, I support a number of our clients with managing their Office 365 services. Today, I'll be discussing using Microsoft Teams to enable your remote workforce. Office 365 is comprised of a variety of services depending on your licensing. 3 services in particular can assist with enabling your remote workforce. Those services are OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. In this video, I'm going to focus on Teams. The easiest way to think about Teams is 2 main functions, communication and collaboration. The communication portion of Teams is the chat and meetings function. In this brief video, I will go over how to use the chat and meetings. For a deeper dive on Teams usage, the description will include a link to Microsoft Teams video training provided by Microsoft's support site. So let's dive into the Teams application. Teams is supported on Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, and I just searched download Teams. Here's the URL. But you just install Teams, and you're going to sign into it. And once you sign into it, the app looks like this. And so the first thing we're going to cover is using the chat function. So on the left-hand side, you'll see chat. And if I want to do a new chat, I click on this little icon here, which I've already done. So that's why I have this blank window. And in the to box, you're going to enter the person you want to chat with. And the way this works is it looks against what's called your global address list. And so if they're in your organization, it'll look up against that. So if I'm just typing the first name of our moderator, and if I click on it, it's going to show we actually chatted in the past. And so now I'm in a chat with him, and I can say hello again, and he should get that message. So when you're in a chat, there's some features in there. So we could change it to a video chat if we wanted. Clearly, you need a video camera. We could change it to a call. And so as long as you have a mic on your computer or you're using the Teams mobile app, you could do that. Or I could share content. And I kind of want to show this one a little bit. So if I click screen sharing, it's going to pop up some options. I can share specific windows. So these are different windows I have open on my computer, or screens. So I have 2 screens or windows. And if I were to click on that, we will click on this one. So as a presenter, it will give me a highlight around the window I'm presenting to let me know I'm presenting that window, which you can't see because I'm presenting it. But if Henry were to accept it, and he would just see that content. So again, click that to share content. You can share windows or desktop. And this is useful for if you're working on a project with a colleague and they have a drawing up in AutoCAD or something. They can show you the drawing directly on their screen as you guys discuss the issue. Okay, so now that I've chatted with Henry, he's going to show up in my recent over here on the left-hand side. What I can do is I could do different actions with Teams in this chat. So in Teams, a lot of the areas have these 3 little ellipses, and it just means more options. So we're going to click on that. And you can see I could pin him. He'll end up in the pin category. So now if I were to have a lot of chats going on, he would get kind of lost in recent. So I've pinned him. He's always going to be towards the top, and I can find him. I could hold and drag him around. And then if I'm done, I can unpin him. I can mute him if he's really chatty. But this gives me different options I can do within the chat area. And then I wanted to show if you try to chat someone externally. So depending on your organization, you may have to turn on the ability to chat to others. By default, I could chat with anyone who has Skype or Skype for Business. By that, I mean Office 365. I'm just going to create an email address here. You're going to get this little message here. It says you couldn't find it locally. So it says they're externally. And so it'll do is it'll look up, and if it finds it, it will try to reach out to that person. So like I have a client I work with all the time, and I actually have an account with them. And so I've chatted with myself before, and it shows that I'm external. Like if it's external, you just get that little tag external. And again, you could do it to a Skype client, or if it's another organization, you could chat with them as long as they allow that functionality. And that pretty much sums up the chat functionality. I'd like to demonstrate how to have a Teams meeting. So there's the chats, and then within Teams there's something called meeting. And it's more or less, how we did that chat part where it said I could do a call or a video. It's built on the same kind of structure, but it's designed for meeting. So if you have Outlook installed, if you go to your calendar, there's going to be this thing called New Teams Meeting. And what makes this pretty nifty is I click on it. Let me drag over that window because it pops up on the screen. And you can see this functionality, join Microsoft Teams meeting. So it creates the URL and all the gobbledygook to make this work. So that's one way to invite Teams meeting. By default, Teams meetings allow anonymous access. Your organization may turn that off. So if you want to do that, you want to check with your organization to make sure it's enabled and all that. But again, by default, Teams meetings allow anonymous access. So I can invite anyone I want. And then they just accept this. It's kind of like GoToMeeting or Zoom. It's going to ask you to install the Teams client or join on the web. Like I said in this YouTube video, there's going to be a link below on going to the training documentation. It has demonstrations of how that works, but we're also going to show you from the presenter end how it's going to look like. So this is one way to start a Teams meeting, Outlook, new Teams meeting button. There's also another way. You could do it from the channels, and this is called a channel. And at the bottom here, there's a Meet Now button. So I click Meet Now. It's going to pop up a little wizard, and I could give it a name. And I could turn the camera on or off. I'm going to turn it off. So then the camera's off, and you can see a little line through the camera. Or I could schedule a meeting, which is similar to what we did earlier. I'm going to click Meet Now. So it's going to launch the meeting functionality. So now I'm in the meeting portion of Teams. So I'm still in the Teams app, but now we're running a meeting. So it's saying invite people to join. So over here, I got invite someone in the upper right. Again, we're going to invite Henry. It looks up again against the address book. Boom. If I were to put in a random guest, I would have to type that in and it would send him an email. So it invites out to Henry. It looks like he's joining. And it's a lot of similar functionality to the chat. So you see the similar buttons. I could turn my camera back on. I can mute myself, and I could share content. And I really wanted to show this. So if I click share, I have some other functions other than just my windows and desktops like the chat. There's a whiteboard, so I could click that. So it's like a built-in app. So, I could draw on it. Apologies for terrible artist. Allows me just to kind of goof around and use the whiteboard so that we could collaborate. And there's a gear widget. We could export it when we're done. Really, it's web-based now, so I can share that out if I want. I could open it in the app, which would launch a web browser. I just wanted to show. So when we launch a meeting, we could present content. And let's stop presenting it. If I hover down to the bottom here, I get my control panel back. It all looks like Henry drew a green box for us. So if I come back here, I get my control panel back, and I get stop presenting. So the whiteboard should go away. Like earlier, remember the 3 ellipses always indicate we could do more actions. So what else can I do? If I were having issues, I could try to troubleshoot issues on my device. Like, because I have 2 cameras on this device, so I could switch my camera, my microphone. I can make notes. I can enter full screen, exit full screen, start recording, turn off incoming video, just different functionality. So once you're done with the meeting, we click the hang up button. And ta-da. So then it's going to eventually load back to my Teams app. So now I'm back where I was in the channel. It kept some notes here and did a meeting using the Meet Now functionality. And again, so in the video, there's going to be a link at the bottom. And I'll show this screen you're going to see when you click on that link. But it has training videos on meetings. And it shows you like joining from the web and all that experience. But I just really showed how it looks when you're the presenter and scheduling from Outlook and or using the Meet Now functionality in a channel within Teams. That is how you run a meeting using Teams. I mentioned earlier that we were going to include a link. We're going to include this link right here. And it's these really great little short videos. And I really like it because it takes the basic functionality. So I mentioned like we're joining a meeting. So if you go to manage meetings, you could see join the Teams meeting, and it just shows you what it looked like joining from the web or joining from the Teams app. And so that link will be included in the YouTube video. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for your time.